So, there's a song at the center of everything. Ernest Holmes said so we believe that. There's a song at the center of everything. The music of the spheres is not an illusion. It's the truth, the music of the universe. We're called to uncover the song that's part of all of us so we can experience harmony, joy, and connection. That was from Ernest Holmes. He knows there's something greater going on. And if we think about it, in the very beginning, before the universe was created, before that Big Bang, there was this pulsating energy of creativity, of intelligence, of love. And we call that energy God. But because this is a creative universe, poof, out went the sparks of energy to create a universe of which we're all a part. All a part, but that same pulsating energy of love, intelligence, and creativity is in each one of us. And that's what I call the song. Now, the music of the spheres that Ernest Holmes referenced is from ancient Greek times. And please don't hold me to the truth of any of this, because I may not remember it exactly, but it sounds so cool, so I'll do my best. Pythagoras and his cronies and his followers believed that the universe was really made up of numbers, and that all of the universe followed a mathematical equation that made notes. And this music of the universe wasn't audible, but it was like a hum, a blending and working together of goodness and harmony and beauty. And it worked together in this perfect manner. Now, what we know about the universe is it has to work in harmony. Because if any part of the universe was out of alignment, any part of it, poof, it would disintegrate. Now, if you don't believe in the law of harmony, just look out. Look outside. It's all working together in this beautiful way. Now, Pythagoras had a great understanding of math. Do you remember Pythagorean theorem? I loved saying that. I didn't know how to do it very well, but I love the Pythagorean theorem, in geometry. It just was so exciting. But to think that mathematics and music, and it's all working together, and we're part of that amazing creation. Here's what Pythagoras said. He said, there is geometry in the humming of the strings. And he used that geometry in the math to create very interesting progress in music. So there's geometry in the humming of the strings, and there is music in the spacing of the spheres. He believed that the sun and the moon and the planets all had a different vibrational sound that came together in this blending. Now, what I want us to know today, there's a couple of laws besides the law of mathematics, which is here we think of it as a very physical truth, but you can hear it's moving around all over the place. But there's also other laws in the spiritual realm that keep us in alignment with our own song. Really, there's only one song, and that's the song of spirit, the song of God. But you and I have our own special note, our own special energy and vibration. Just like the planets and the music of the spheres, we have a special place in the universe. And we have a responsibility, as Mary was saying, to uncover that and utilize that beautiful gift we've already been given. And I want you to understand, part of this law of circulation, things move in the universe. We're here to be part of the movement of life. We are here to be part of the movement of life. When we live an unlived life, when we stop the circulation of our creativity, our ideas, and our love, which the universe is based on, we cripple ourselves. we cripple the song of the universe when we're not living in that vibration. Do you get what I'm talking about? We need to be in that law of circulation and doing what we can. So what do we need to uncover? I mean, we all fall down at times, but the problem is not falling down. We have to get back up. And if we live in fear and we live, if we live in fear and we live thinking that we are not enough, unworthy, that we're not good enough, we live feeling rejected or rejecting others or rejecting ourselves, if we live in the energy like that, we're blocking this beautiful goodness that wants to come from us. We so program our lives on the opinions of other people, and you know what? Who cares? Who cares what other people think about us? It doesn't matter. What matters is what we think about ourselves. It doesn't matter what other people think. People are going to share their opinions because people do that. But it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, sometimes it matters if you ask somebody and you really want to know, but if you're taking what somebody thinks of you and designing your life around that, that is what I call an unlived life. And there's a beautiful book called I Will Not Die, An Unlived Life. And it's by Donna Markova. And she said, I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days by allowing my living. I'm alive. I'm in the energy. I got it. Hold on. I choose to inhabit my days by allowing my living to open me, not close me. Open me, even if I'm scared or it's not going to be comfortable, because you're not here to be comfortable. It doesn't mean you can't be. It just means that's not our main purpose in our life. Our main purpose is to be alive. And sometimes being alive isn't comfortable. Have you noticed? Hello? I choose to inhabit my days by allowing my living to open me, to make me less afraid and more accessible. I'm just going to add more accessible to that song, that life, that love, that goodness, that harmony that wants to express through us. More accessible to that, to loosen my heart, because that's where the spark, the song lives. That's where it lives, right here. So I want to make myself more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise for something more, to bring greater good. If you haven't noticed, our earth right now is in a little bit of trouble. And we're here because we have a light of love and goodness and possibility and beauty that can help quell some of the discomfort, the violence, the harmony. We've got it in here. I choose to live so that which came to me as the seed, an idea to be expressed, a creativity to be given, something to be written, something to be sung, something out there, goes out to the next as blossom and then goes on as fruit. You and I get to be part of this creative process. We're not the end of it, but we get to spread our seeds, to plant our good, that someone else can take it and grow it into something more. Does that make sense? I love that. That's a life that is being lived. But you know what? We imprison ourselves, we hypnotize ourselves from these divine attributes. I want to tell you, heaven, don't you love the thought of heaven, little angels all around? Oh. Love everywhere. I just love that idea. Heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of mind. It's where we're thinking the divine attributes of goodness, where we know that life is not about good and bad. It's about experience. We can point the finger and blame, and we can be in that mode, but it's not about that. It's about what are we learning. You know, Ernest Holmes says, teach and practice, practice, teach. I believe we're here to gain wisdom and knowledge and understanding and to pass it on. I believe that's why we're here. So if we miss the goodness and the truth and the beauty and the harmony that's already present in here, if we just let go of that other stuff, you know what? That feels good. Maybe we should just all do this for the next 20 minutes. It feels really good. Let it go, and uncover that song that's right there and wants to be sung. Then we can start living in this beautiful music of the spheres. Remember, there is no size in God's mind. It's all creative energy. Spirit wants us to create and be and become and blend together. And there comes the law of harmony. So what I was going to tell you, and I forgot, so I'm going to tell you now, is not everybody believed Pythagoras. They, didn't believe in the music of the spheres. They didn't believe in any of that. But some people did and continued that notion of de musica, which was the music from whatever language, Latin or whatever, I don't know, something. But anyway, Boethius this is a 6th century Roman leader, not Greek, Roman leader, who wrote a book on the music of the spheres, and he felt there were 3 branches of music. So one was this universal, that sphere right there, the universal. The other branch, the next branch, was musica humana, which is the music, the internal music of the human body. Now, what we don't recognize sometimes, and this reminded me of when I was talking about spiritual mind treatment, was about the healing of the body. That's what it was first used, the power of the mind to heal your body. Our body is the microcosm of the macrocosm of the universe. And if you think about how our body and all parts work together in that same collaborative effort for good to keep us healthy and alive and vital and able, that's the way it's supposed to be. The universe works together for good, and our body is to do the same thing, to work together for good. And we need to really follow the law of circulation, that we're moving and growing and creating, but also the law of harmony. And the law of harmony is about the beautiful blending of parts. The beautiful blending. Now, our body is here, and it has innate wisdom in every part of it. And if we treat our body with the goodness it wants to be treated, we can go out and we can create and be all we're meant to be. Does illness happen? Yes. Does disease happen? Yes. Are we the illness? No, it's an experience. Are we the disease? No, it's an experience. It's there to teach us. It isn't a right or wrong thing. It's about learning and growing, and what we learn from all of these different things, we get to go out and teach. So the law of harmony, we need to concentrate on that. Now I want to tell you, if you live with the law of harmony, what shows up is synchronicity. Don't you all have synchronicity where things just show up? They show up in your life. Oh, wow, you had a question or wanted something, and it's there. The synchronicity of life can show up in numbers. It can show up in symbols and actions. It can show up in people's words. It's there for us when we're living in the law of harmony. And then the third branch, so we've got the musica universalis, which is the universal music of the universe, universal music or divine harmony. And then we've got the body, the human body. But then there's the musica instrumentis, which is the singer and the instruments. And I'd say it's about relationship. That's the song that you and I sing together by creating divine and harmonious relationships. By recognizing that we're all part of this divine plan. We're all a spark of God. And we learn to see that in everyone, no matter how hidden they have it. You're supposed to laugh on that part, because that's pretty funny. I love that person somewhere, It's about the harmony of relationship. Now, first of all, the harmonious relationships, I think I had a good quote here that I wanted to share. Oh, yeah, this is by that American musician, Edgar Winter. Music is spiritual. It has the power to bring people together. So that's the same kind of thing. And my boyfriend, Rumi, said, there are many ways to the divine. I have chosen the way of song, dance, and laughter. So that's about connection. So the first way, we want to be in harmonious relationship like the sun and the moon and the earth and the planets and the stars. We want to make sure that our relationships are like that. So our first relationship is the relationship we have with God. And since order and harmony reside in the mind of God, in the creative process, we live in this self-organizing, self-correcting universe. That must be the truth of us. So, in tune with the infinite. If you're living in one world right now, you're not living big enough. We have to live in two worlds. You know what I've noticed in my life is the biggest tragedies I've had in my life have allowed me to live in two worlds. When I could not make one bit of sense from this physical world because it was just too darn tough, I had to put a foot, an arm, my mind over to another world, something so much bigger to make sense. Do you know what I mean? That's why we have tragedy and difficulty and problems that you may say, those are bad. But they're not bad. They're there to wake us up. If we learn to use things for good, there's good in there somewhere. Like the room full of manure, there has to be a pony in there somewhere. I mean, God, there's gotta be. We just gotta find it. But when we can't just live in one world. It will cripple us. It will smush us. Because the world is dense, and it's beautiful, and it's tough, and it's wonderful, and it's a paradox, and it can be tough, and it can be wonderful and beautiful and joyous, but when we live with part of ourselves in the divine, we can understand there's so much more going on here than we see. You know, I don't know. Karma is really the law of cause and effect, but I know when somebody... I'm thinking of someone in my family has really been awful to me, treated me bad, makes me sad. I think, God, I wonder what I did to her in a past life. You know, I think there's a process going on. I have things to learn from this. It's not about that person. I have something to learn. I'm not blaming anything else. I mean, of course I do sometimes, but I try not to. I try. But it's about really thinking about, wow, everything is here for our good. How do we make sense of that? So that's the harmonious relationship with God. And then about relationship with yourself. How do we keep a good relationship with ourselves? How do we keep ourselves so we can recognize we are spiritual beings having this wonderful human experience? I mean, sure, it doesn't seem wonderful sometimes when you realize over there is all love and all peace and all harmony, but we're here for a reason. So how do we keep connected to that? And that's what I want to establish for our prayer wall today. Religious science is unique, science of mind is unique because we have a 5-step, sometimes a little different steps, but 5-step prayer. The first step, and if you only do the first 2 steps, it's enough. But if the first step, number 1, if you're feeling out of harmony, out of alignment, not in good, if you can't get anywhere, get your mind expanded, God is, those 2 words. God is, that's the first step. God is all there is. And then you can define God as whatever you want. It can be love, it can be peace, it can be harmony, it can be abundance, it can be joy. But you got to know that God is all there and God is for us and God is good. So life is good, life is for us, God is here, it's all it is. You keep saying that until you actually get it into your body. Until you, okay, I can be there for a minute. I can be there. And then you go, I am. Because if we know we are just a microcosm of the macrocosm of the one song, of the one creation, of the one God, of the one whatever you call it, one, I am, one with beauty, one with harmony, one with peace, one with abundance, one with joy, one with healing, one with love, one with whatever you want. You can keep repeating that until you are so expanded, and that's how we start our prayers. And then the third part of the prayer is for manifestation. It's where we know there's something greater that wants to be expressed in our life, and we simply say, I know. And you don't go, well, I know that this will happen. I know that I will be. No, you know right now in you there is this possibility. There is this goodness that wants to show up, so you just know it. And then you give thanks that this is the truth, and you release it to the infinite mind of God that only knows to say what?
Yes.
That only knows to say?
Yes.
Yes! Okay, good. You got to remember that too, because when we put it out there, you know there's a big yes waiting for it. Now, it doesn't mean immediate manifestation, because there's also a timing of God's time and our time, and they don't always match like that. So patience, patience, patience. Okay, so there's harmony with God, harmony with yourself, and harmony with others. And that's where the symphony gets played. That's the way we get to play the symphony that we're meant to play. When we do our part, as Mary said, it's the part of the greater whole. I want to read to you a quote by Ernest Holmes. And it says, "Life is one enormous, cooperative, interrelated connection." Creation. I'll do that again because that's just too cool not to get it right. Life is one enormous, cooperative, excuse me. It's just water, but it still makes me feel better. Life is one enormous, cooperative, interrelated creation. Yes. Woo! All right, I got it. I don't know if you're clapping for Ernest or me, but we both deserve it. Okay. As we learn to cooperate with life and our fellow beings, we are more nearly expressing the order and harmony that reside in the mind of God. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So where do we start? Where do we start creating that order and harmony that's in the mind of God? We start in us and today. No. In us and right now. That's when we start creating, because this moment is all there is. You start creating peace, order, and harmony right now. And that's why we're going to have our prayer wall. You start right now. So what I said in the beginning, I don't even remember. Mary might, because she has it on paper. But where am I out of tune with the song of my life? Where am I out of tune with what God intended for me, my unique creation here? Am I covering it up with fear? Then let it go. Am I covering it up with other people's opinions? Let it go. Am I afraid? Okay, so what do you want to let go, or what do you want to accept? To be in tune with my life, I need more love. I need more peace. I need more abundance. I need more healing. I need more. Okay, you can either come up here with what am I letting go of, or what am I accepting in my life? To be more in tune with how you're already designed. You don't need anything more except to be more of yourself and to sing the song that's already within you. I know that. So I'm going to invite our ministers. As our practitioners and ministers are finishing up their prayers now, and our prayer wall is just flowing in beauty and grace, I'd like to close with the words from another Sufi mystic, Hafez. He says, "I wish I could speak like music. I wish I could put the swaying splendor of the fields into words so that you could hold truth against your body and dance. I am trying the best I can with this crude brush, the tongue, to cover you with light. I wish I could speak like divine music. I want to give you the sublime rhythm of this earth and the sky's limbs as they joyously span and surrender against God's illuminous breath." And may I know for each and every person in this moment that that breath of spirit, of light, of love, of healing, of God and goodness touches each and every one of us right here, right now, as we expand in this moment to the greater knowing of all that is, to the greater knowing of our place in this beautiful orchestration of life, that we allow the song, the creative expression, the joy and love and peace that we are meant to be expanded in our life right now, as we feel it grow in our bodies and touch those around us, move out into the world and touch this community, go out even further and touch this nation, and go out even further and touch this world, that we are all united by that beautiful, luminous string of God's infinite love. love. How blessed we are. We say, thank you, God, and so it is. What a beautiful orchestra. Thank you. Thank you for singing the song of love and goodness. I appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.